Hi everyone, it's Jody from An Eye for Beauty, and today is May 31st, 2020. And if you're hearing this message, it's meant for this week, May 31st, or any time that you hear the message, knowing that this message is coming to you from Spirit. So if you're glancing on this message, it's because Spirit wants you to hear something. So I invite you to just sit back, relax, and listen. And we do pull cards, so you can pick one of the 3 cards for your personal reading, or you can just sit back and listen to the whole reading as a general reading and take what you need and let the rest go. Okay? Just be the witness of the reading. So here we are, and we're starting with card number 1, which has 2 cards. Card number 2, or let's get card number 3. Let's see, what is it? Card number 3. Okay. So what number do you hear? 1, 2, or 3? And we're starting with card number 1. So we have card number 1A, okay? And then we're going to do 1B. And so the first card is, it is time for the real you to emerge. And then the second card is, what you perceive to be your dark side holds a hidden message. Okay? So totally makes sense that they came together. How can the real you emerge if you're hiding your shadow side? Each and every one of us has good and bad, has light side and dark side, has the higher self or the higher aspect of ourselves, and the ego or the shadow aspects of ourselves. And in this society, I think almost every single person in this world has gone through life at one point or another, either believing they weren't good enough, they weren't worthy, or they weren't deserving. And I'm sure there's many people, unfortunately, that still feel that way. Not a good enough parent. There's so much competition. I see it in the schools all the time, whether it's athletic, whether it's grades. A lot of times we as individual humans put it on ourselves. Why do we do that? Why don't we love and embrace every single aspect of ourselves? Why do we try to hide aspects of ourselves? Because we think society says that we shouldn't act this way, we shouldn't be this way. I hope this is making sense to you, because it really is something that needs to be addressed. And so this card is coming up and saying, let your shadows come up. Let them come out. Show them. Be okay with them. Love on your shadow side anyway. Maybe you're a person that judges. It's okay. Work through that. Why are you judging? Maybe you're a person who has a lot of fears, and that's a shadow aspect of yourself. Maybe you're a person who is in denial. All of these aspects, each and every aspect of yourself, it is time for you to let them come up from the shadows and emerge so that you can integrate the good and the bad together for yourself. And when I say bad, it's not bad. It's just who you are. We have all aspects of ourselves. So if you chose card number 1, which is the 2 cards together, love who you are, every single part of you. And then, only then, when you can love every single aspect of you, can you love every single aspect of other people in your life. So that's card number 1. Card number 2 is God of Conflict Resolution. You are being encouraged to walk away from a current conflict. So we're still looking at these cards during a global pandemic. And maybe that's the conflict. Maybe you have this conflict inside of yourself that doesn't want to look at the shadow aspect of yourself. And so you feel this conflict. So let's go back to that shadow aspect. We have the higher self or the spirit self, and then we have the ego. And a lot of times fear lets the ego self be the self that is shown all the time. And that's the lower aspect of who you are, or the shadow side, or the dark side. And so what happens is, if your higher self is really trying to rise up, trying to emerge, and the ego doesn't want you to do that because it is not comfortable at all very uncomfortable with how that feels, what will happen is within yourself, you will have this conflict. And you will feel pushed and pulled. You will feel like you're on a seesaw. Some days will be good, some days will not. And I'm talking internally in your inner self. So what this card is asking you to do is to no longer allow the conflict. That's one aspect of what this card could represent. Another could simply be that you have conflict going on in your life and it's time for you to walk away. If there's something in your life that's creating conflict, it's time to move on. It's time to detach. It's time to let go. And then on a grander level, if you are someone who is watching the news every day, needing to hear everything that's going on, and then getting involved in fights on social media with other people or just conflict because you're bothered by what's going on, it's time to kind of detach and walk away from it. Again, you're not in control. I'm not in control. No one's in control. God is in control. Okay, so that's that card. Card number 3. Oh, okay, so card number 3, the artist in you is ready to emerge. So maybe you're an artist. Let's see, I have other cards here. We're going to ask Archangel Gabriel. He's the archangel of communication, of journalists, of writers, of authors, of speakers, of communication. And of course, he was the archangel who told Mary that the baby was coming. So we're going to ask Archangel Gabriel, what does that represent? Let's see. Okay. God of the arts. So arts even is this metaphysical stuff that I do, like reading the cards is an art. Drawing, obviously. Drawing, being creative, blogging. All of these things are arts. And if there's anything inside of you, maybe you want to teach Zumba, you know, it could be anything. Whatever it is, if you want to do something, if you have something inside of you that you have been wanting to create, it is time to do this new skill daily. So that's the message from Archangel Gabriel. Daily practice is necessary now. Even if it's a small step in what it is that you want to do, start to do it slow, okay? That is very key and very important because the consistency in doing the small step daily is going to make you feel more empowered, is going to give you motivation, and you're going to continue and continue and continue. And before you know it, you're going to be done with whatever it is that you're creating, and you're going to look back and say, wow, I can't believe I did that. So focus on what it is that you want to create now inside of yourself, for your future, and of course for your present. And when you're doing it, be present in doing it. So I hope that this message for May 31st week served you today. Take whatever it is that made sense to you, let the rest fall away. Be the observer of the reading. And I wish you a great week and a safe week. Bye-bye.